Hey, what's up? Galen Spring here. In this video, we're going to be doing a free website audit for Regenerative Gardenworks, based out of Vermont. This is going to show us the main issues that need to be fixed on the website in order to rank it higher in Google and convert more website visitors into paying customers. So let's get started. First thing we're going to look for, we're going to plug the website into SEMrush or SEMrush and look at the domain overview. So you can see the website has a little tiny amount of traffic. Looks like there's a big jump in March of 2022. Since then, it's kind of back to baseline. The company is, so we're just going to say they do have traffic, not much, but it counts. We are not currently running any Google ads, at least not that SEMrush can see. And let's take a look at the keywords to see what we're ranking for. Okay, Aubrey Landscaping, so Gardenworks, Regenerative Landscaping. So nothing currently on the first page of Google. It looks like a couple keywords kind of relevant to regenerative, if that's like a type of specific type of landscaping. So overall, there's definitely some commercial intent keywords here. So definitely some opportunity, and chances are there are some keywords, some local keywords that aren't showing here. They might have a low search volume, but that you could also rank for as well, such as landscaping in the surrounding towns to your location. So landscaping Barnet, landscaping St. Johnsbury, landscaping Danville, etc. So we are ranking for some keywords, and we do have some keyword opportunities. Let's just take a look at the authority of the website. So I think do I have Moz installed here? Sunblock allow. Okay, we're just going to ignore that. We'll just put in, might as well do a little bit of competitive analysis. So Aubrey Landscaping, you're in, okay, this is coming up. Anyway, so it looks like your domain authority in Moz is a 7 out of 100. And then the website right above you is an 8 out of 100. And then you can see some of these other websites, 79 out of 100, 18 out of 100. So you do have some good relevance. Domain authority is probably not going to be a big obstacle for you, even though it is a bit low, but there's definitely ways we can bump that up. So I'm going to say you do have competitive authority, at least for the competition in the local area. Let's take a look and see if you have the Google Analytics tag set up. So we're just going to use Google Tag Assistant and see what comes up here. So it looks like you do have the tag, however, it looks like it's not installed correctly. And it also looks like you have the Universal Analytics tag. Nothing wrong with that. However, you should know that in 2023, Google is going to sunset Universal Analytics. So it's always, it would be a good idea just to install Google Analytics 4, just so you have that data going forward. So it looks like there are some, you do have it, however, I'm just going to mark it red because there are some issues with the tag. Not set up properly. And now let's look at the calls to action on the website itself. So you do have the phone number there. That's great. However, it's not a click to call button. Oh, it is a click to call button. Okay, so that's good. So I would just make this actually look like a button, just so people know that they can click on it. That might help your conversions. It is working. It's above the fold. Stands out. It is near the center of the screen. Let's just see if it moves when scrolling. So looks like it is just in a fixed position on the screen. What I would do is I would recommend that you add a feature so that when people are scrolling on your website, it'll actually take the phone number, your click to call button, and just put it like maybe right next to your chat button. So something like maybe right here, and just as they're scrolling, they'll still get that option to call. And that can, every little increase you can make to your conversions will help. Let's take a look at the website forms. So I'm assuming you have some forms on the form on the contact page. Okay, I'm just gonna close SEMrush for now. So name, email, phone, address. So a question that you should ask yourself is, are any of these forms, are any of these fields unnecessary? So do you need, it looks like you have email as a required field, but do you need the name? Do you need the phone number? Do you need the address? For some people, they're just not going to take the time to actually fill in everything, even though you only have the email required. So just having the minimum number of fields possible can help with conversions as well. So I'm just going to add a note there. I'm just going to mark this because you have that just the email marked required. So remove extra fields. Let's see, the CTA button. Gray on white, it doesn't really stand out, so I would recommend changing that to like your green color or something like that, just to make it kind of pop out, a little bit more obvious. Form titles are easy to understand, it's easy to use. There is not any background color contrast, so I would make this this element on the page, the contact form, I would add a background to that, or I would add a background to the rest of the page and just leave this white, just to make it stand out a little bit more. No directional cues. That's probably not going to be too relevant for you, so we're just going to ignore that. That would be like if you had the form on the home page, you'd want to add in some directional cues like arrows or a picture of someone actually looking at the form to help the conversion rate. And let's see what else. So we already tested this. Actually tested this a little while ago, and it does prompt a confirmation message on the submission of the form. Is the website. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so your logo. I think it looks like this is your logo. However, it's not up at the top of the menu, the nav bar. So I would recommend taking this logo, making a smaller version of it, and adding it up here, and just making sure that clicks through to the home page. It looks like the text, Regenerative Gardenworks, does click through. So I'm just going to say it does click through. I'm going to mark that red. Actually, it does not. The logo should be added to the top nav bar. Top navigation menu. So the other thing is that this menu is a vertical menu. It looks like this might just be like whatever platform you're using needs to do this in order for it to work on mobile and desktop. These types of menus are good for mobile, but they're just a little wonky on desktop. Having to click this to see the options. So I would recommend, if your CMS allows you to basically add these to the top menu, so that you don't have to click this hamburger menu to access them. Add menu to top nav bar. There are no distractions above the fold. Let's take a look at what the CMS you're using is. Looks like you're using the GoDaddy website builder. Okay, that is modern. There are definitely better options. There's nothing wrong with the GoDaddy website builder. It is like a pretty basic CMS. There are some other options, like the option that I use, that is priced pretty comparatively. That is can be a bit faster, can be a bit easier to use, and has a bit more compatibility with any plugins or apps that you want to install to increase the functionality of the website. But for now, we'll just say that that is a modern CMS. Could be no, we'll just leave that. Okay. Is the website mobile friendly? We'll do a mobile friendly test. I would assume that it is, since it's built on GoDaddy. Mobile friendliness is very important. Google, I don't remember how many years ago it was, but Google has moved to mobile first indexing. And so they actually use the mobile version of your website before, rather than the desktop version when they're indexing. So it looks like it is mobile friendly. Is it responsive? So what we're just going to do to test whether it's responsive is do half window. And yep, looks like everything shrunk down nicely. Not sure what this, there's a bit of, oh, okay, so it just didn't load. Not a big problem, but that's just something that could be avoided by upgrading your CMS, moving away from GoDaddy. Yeah, it's a little wonky. Let's just see what happens when we scale it manually. I mean, all in all, it's passable. Invisible text, so sometimes people will add invisible text to their page just to try and stuff in a bunch of keywords or stuff in a bunch of content that they want Google to read but they don't want people to read. So you're not doing that. That's great. That can actually earn you a penalty in Google. I haven't gotten any pop-ups yet. I'm guessing you probably don't have any. Let's just see if I go to exit. Nope, no exit intent or anything like that. Again, I'm pretty sure you're not going to have any. Oops, you're not going to have any flash on the website. What is going on? Okay, looks like they took down the flash auditing tool, unless I'm just not. Let's try this one more time. Let's see if there's another one that we can use. It's funny, the other website was the ranking #1 and their flash test wasn't even working. Okay. Let's test both of these. Let's just see which one works better. No flash, according to SEO Optimizer. Test passed, okay. About page, contact page. Those both exist. Name, address, phone number in the footer. I think I saw that, yep. Name, address, phone number. I don't believe you have any terms and conditions page, but you probably don't need that. I don't think you're collecting any sensitive information, so I'm just going to give you a pass for that. You do have the favicon, minimal white space, yes, consistent colors. I did notice on the, let's see what another page looks like, about us. There he is. Okay, I did notice that looks like the text is consistent, but like on the contact us page, there isn't really much for color. So I'm just going to say ensure all pages display brand colors. And I did see social media icons, looks like. Let's see if those click through. Yes, and my internet is just being a bit stubborn today. Okay, so that's good. Let's look at your page speed. For page speed, there's a lot of different tools we can use. They all give you different results, but the one that I found that works pretty consistently is GTmetrix. I think they actually use Google's Lighthouse to test. Yep. You get an A for page speed. SSL, I think I saw that. Yes. Looks good, no errors. Let's make sure that the HTTP version of your website redirects back to the secure version. Just delete that, test it. It does. I'll just test to see if you have any malware or make sure you're not blacklisted. That looks good. And we'll see if you have a sitemap. Okay, it does appear the website has a sitemap. Although I'm not seeing... Well, let's just see. Okay, so this sitemap actually has your website pages. Okay, so that's good. Now we'll test the robots.txt. So you're not currently disallowing any pages. That means any page that exists on your website is up for being indexed in Google. That might be fine as long as you don't have any account pages, login pages, user pages, author pages, things like that. So the one thing I would recommend is it looks like you're not currently linking a sitemap in here. So I would add a link to the sitemap in your robots.txt file. And that helps Google, when Google reads your robots.txt, it helps them index the rest of your pages. So if you make an update to any of the pages on your website, it's just going to help it index that much faster. And index means like showing up on Google. Categorized URL structure. So we can just look at that from the website itself, and I think the only category, I'm assuming services is probably the only category, although it looks like these are not actually individual service pages. So I mean, it's categorized in that they're all like first level categories. So no subcategories, but that's fine. I definitely would recommend adding individual service pages, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Now we're going to plug the website into Screaming Frog. I have to change lists or let's see. Oh, right, I need the sitemap. Okay, so this is going to show all of the web pages currently on your site. Everything's indexable. Looks like... Okay, so you're missing titles. Titles are what shows up in Google. For the search result, you'll get a title, a description, and then in between those usually is like the URL to your website. So I would definitely recommend filling out the titles, meta descriptions. For both of those, I would add a basically your main keyword for that page, followed by a call to action. So, like for example, for your let's just say for the home page, I would change this to Vermont Landscaping Services, call us today. Something like that is going to perform better than just your brand name and the Fine Landscaping Services. So adding like the location, making it more appealing for people to click on, basically. And you can do that in the description as well. In the description, I would also add like some benefits. So like, why would someone choose to work with your company over another company? What are some unique selling points of your company? Things like that. So meta titles, there are some missing, no keywords, no call to action, not optimized for location, not proper length, they are vague. I think there were some, there were some duplicate titles, definitely not keyword stuffed, so you don't want to add too many keywords. Definitely not doing that. Meta descriptions, I think you had some of them. No, sorry, okay. You'd add those, need to basically all the snippets really need some work. And that will, when you have really well written snippets, that's going to increase the click-through rate on your on the search results for your website in Google, and that's going to basically bring more traffic to your website, as well as more leads. So the heading tags, do have heading tags. You can definitely use some additional keywords in the heading tags for each page. You want to have your main keyword in the title, in the description, in the heading tag, in the in a few other places, like a few times in the content, in the alt tag for any images, things like that. And the H1 tag resembles the title tag. No, it does not. Let me just verify that. So, like for example, the title of your homepage for Regenerative Gardenworks, Fine Landscaping Services, and then your H1 is Fine Landscaping Services. So again, I would also add the keywords to your H1. So that needs some work as well. Footer and header links. Let's check those and just make sure they work. Looks like you don't actually have footer and header links, but the telephone links, email links, those look to be working. So I would also add all of these pages. I would add them somewhere in the footer as well, just so when people scroll down to the bottom of the page, they can navigate that way without having to scroll back up. Add menu pages to footer as well. Internal links throughout site content. Let's just take a look at like services. So one thing you can do that would help is adding like a link on your services page to your About Us page. Where does this go? This goes to Facebook page. To your testimonials, to your contact page. The area that this will be most relevant in is if you end up building out individual service pages and building out individual location pages. You'll want to link those together when relevant. So if you have some services that are pretty similar, like mowing and brush hogging, you would want to link those pages together. You would, on the mowing page, you would mention we also offer brush hogging services. If you have like stuff that is is a little bit too much for a mower to handle, and vice versa. So I'm going to say that you could use some more internal linking. Word count, let's just look at that in Screaming Frog. Word count's pretty low. I would shoot for each of your pages having at least 300 words. and then your most important pages are going to want to have more words than that. Once you, if you get into doing SEO, or if you hire me or hire someone else, one of the things that you will do is a competitive analysis, and that can give you a better idea of exactly how long you want each page to be. If your competitor is, for let's say landscaping, Barnet is ranking number one with 1,000 words of content, and you're ranking number three with 300 words of content, then what you would want to do is add about 1,000 words of content. So then you'll have 1,300 words of content, and that can help you outrank your competitor who's in number one. No email opt-ins within the content. However, let's see. So I'm guessing you just don't have a email list currently. Email's just, another great way to keep in touch with your customers. If you're offering any new services, it's a great way to reach out. So I would recommend adding an email list and putting a link to that in the footer, along with some kind of incentive to sign up. So like, join our email list and get 5% off your first landscaping service, or something like that. Or get get our top, get a PDF or ebook of our top 10 tips for, hiring a landscaper, or top 10 tips for lawn care, or something like that. Something that adds value to entice people to give you their email. Sorry, this is taking a bit. It's taking a bit longer than I originally intended. Let's see if you have any. I don't think you have any blog content. No. So, adding blog content like how-to articles, guides, that kind of thing, can really help you bring in more website visitors. Usually those people are not going to be looking to buy from you. Those are going to be like informational users. So what you want to do, I mentioned this earlier, having email opt-in within the content, is when you build out your how-to articles, like how to select the right grass for your yard or something like that, then you would include within that content a email sign up, and so then you can remarket to those people, and eventually some of them will become your customers. Imagery. You do have some imagery. You have some more imagery on the services page. These look like good photos. I mean, some of them are not the right dimensions. I might, I'd recommend kind of like retaking a few of these, or cropping the wider ones just so everything's like roughly the same size. But all in all, I mean, this is, they're pretty self-explanatory. So the images are good. Assuming they're original, specific to the page. You don't need to implement lazy loading because your website speed is already an A, so I'll give you a pass for that, even though it's not implemented. No, I don't see any videos on the website, don't see any opt-ins, so something you could do would be on the home page, like instead of this is kind of confusing because I believe this is your logo, but this, I'm not sure what this is about. It's like a second logo, or maybe this is your logo, I don't know. But I would just replace that with like a video of you, or either a video of you like explaining who you are, and what you offer and why you're different, and why they should choose your services. Or I would do a video that's like an interview with your customers, so like a testimonial video. Um, this would be some good things to add to your website. One thing that we'll do is increase the time on page, so that can actually help with your SEO. The dwell time, how long people stay on your website, that can actually help you rank higher. And the other thing is that it can, it can just give people an easy way. Like some people don't really know how to navigate around a website, or they might be, they might not be able to see very well. So just including that option for like a video can definitely help out, especially certain types of people with like, vision impairments and that kind of stuff. Let's take a look to see if you have local schema. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Where did I put that? No schema. So local schema is just going to give you, it's going to enhance your listing in Google results. It'll add things to make it a bit more appealing to click on. So I would recommend adding some local schema at the very least. And then OG data is when someone shares your website on Facebook. If you have OG data set up properly, it will show a preview. Yep. Okay. So this is what people will see when they share your website on on Facebook. Then you can see it pulls in the H1 and then the meta description. So that's probably automatically set up in GoDaddy. The following properties are missing. FB app ID. That's something you can ignore. Okay. Looks good. Okay. Go back to SEMrush. And the next thing we're going to look at is your backlinks. So backlinks are part of what gives your website authority in Google's eyes. When you have good backlinks, it will show you, let's see, backlink analytics. It will, it basically gives you more relevance in Google. So backlinks are basically when another website links to your website. And what you want is for those websites to be related to your website, either in the same niche, in the same area, just, business related in general. So you do have a few backlinks. Let's take a look at those. Top rated local, a blog, country advisory board, customer service archive. That's probably a spam backlink. Front porch forum. Looks like you got a recommendation on there. That's cool. And I'm not sure, it looks like, probably Joe's Pond blog or something like that. So these are probably natural mentions. It looks like there's nothing here that you've paid for. You haven't done any citation building, however. So you definitely could use some work pretty much in all of these. Let's just take a look at the anchor text. So the anchor text is just your business name. That's good. That is what you want. I didn't see any private blog networks, Web 2.0s. That you did have that one link that looked like it might be spam, but I can't really prove that. So one link's not going to hurt you. So I would definitely recommend getting some citations, business directories, niche directories, local directories, and you can buy a service that adds a bunch of these, or you can fill them out yourself. It's just a matter of, if you do have the time to fill them all out, or you'd rather someone else take care of it. And then the other big reason why you would want to add like how-to content, articles, that kind of stuff, is because that can help you naturally earn more backlinks as well. Um, you know, if people in the landscaping niche see an article that you wrote and then they link to it from their site, that can help you as well. Okay, so the location pages, service pages, those are all missing. You do have a dedicated review page. So you definitely want to add location pages. Those are going to allow you to compete in Google when someone from, let's say, the next town over types in, like, I think you offer stump grinding. So stump grinding Danville, if that's a keyword you want to show up for, then you should add a page for Danville and then list all your services on it, so that you can show up if someone is searching for that. And then for the service pages, you do offer a lot of services, so I would maybe just say, what are your biggest services, or what are your most profitable services? What are your highest revenue services? And just build out a page for those. And those are also going to help you rank in Google, help you bring in more traffic and qualified leads. Again, it looks like there's not really much for citations. You could definitely use some of that. And I think let's just take a look at the Google My Business profile. So you do have a Google My Business profile. Looks like you do have some pictures in there. Awesome. 80 reviews, 5 stars. That's awesome. So I'm guessing you guys are getting a lot of leads through Google My Business. I mean, your Google Business profile. I keep calling it Google My Business. They changed the name a little while ago from Google My Business to Google Business Profile. So these pictures look great. I would add some more pictures of the team. Looks like you guys are there. If you have like some more signage, more I might add like a picture of the sign on your truck. But I mean, really, this is an awesome amount of photos. So let's just take a look at what category you have added. Okay, this is probably too many categories. I would recommend that you just take your 2 or 3 main categories and just put those in Google. When you're adding all of these categories, it's going to dilute it's basically going to dilute your online presence in Google, in the Google Business listing. So I would definitely remove several of those and just add like probably landscaper, and then 1 to 2 other main categories that apply. I'm not seeing the. Okay, looks just like Peacham, Vermont. So I would add your additional, if you serve people in the surrounding areas, I would make sure that those are there too. Regenerative Gardenworks. I mean, it looks like this is like, I almost hesitate to finish the audit for the Google Business Profile because it looks like you're doing pretty well. I mean, 80 reviews. Like I said, you're probably getting most, if not all, of your leads through the Google Business Profile. You have all like the core information. One thing that can help, I'll just do it. One thing that can help is if you change the business name or do a file for a doing business as, and then add landscaping. So Regenerative Gardenworks landscaping. Having that exact match keyword in the title can help. Again, you guys are already doing really well, so I almost hesitate to recommend making a major change like that. But this stuff all looks good. 802.382.0266. I believe that's the same number that's on your 382.0266. Okay, so that's the same number that's on your website. That's fine. If you want to track how many phone calls are coming from your website versus how many are coming from your Google business profile, I would recommend adding call tracking, and that will give you a unique number which you can plug into the Google business profile. That number will forward to your main number, but that will also give you a way to see how many people are calling from one source versus the other. I would add a appointment link. The appointment link should just link to your Contact Us page. I'm not seeing the products and services. Those should be mirrored exactly like they are on your website. So you're basically taking all of this content word for word and putting it into your Google business profile in the services. The reviews look awesome. I didn't see the logo. You have lots of photos. Let's see if you're responding to reviews. Not responding to reviews, so I would recommend that each person that reviews you gets a personal response. Something just like as simple as like, "Thank you, Dana. We appreciate your business. Thank you, Danielle. We appreciate your business. We hope to see you again soon." Something like that. Just so people know that when they read your reviews that you're legit, and they can that you are taking the time to thank people. I didn't see any questions, so you get a pass for that since you're not getting any questions, and I didn't see any posts. So Google Business Profile posts are basically if you start offering a new service or you have any promotions going on, you can add those to you can mention that in your Google Business Profile, and that will help your listing stay relevant in Google, and can give you like a little bit of an edge over the competition if they are basically leaving their Google Business Profile unchanged. It's just keeping it fresh, basically. Okay, so that was the free SEO audit, free website audit for regenerativegardenworks.com. Again, my name is Galen Spring. I'm located in the great Northeast Kingdom of Vermont. I don't just do these free website audits. I'm a digital marketing expert. My focus as an expert SEO and website designer is not just on increasing traffic, improving web design and features, but on the real results for your business, whether that's more leads, more sales, more customers, or less problems and frustrations. My recommendation to you is that you get this stuff fixed. If you're just watching this because you're interested in SEO audits on YouTube, I would recommend that you contact me for a free website audit. And if you don't have the time or knowledge, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help you get started on getting this stuff fixed. You can contact me at 802-238-4065 or email galen@galenspring.com. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in more videos like this about SEO audits and how to do SEO for local businesses, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.